Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. I know y'all heard that welcome because I'm like triggered. I got PTSD from last season. Candiace, I can't keep defending these actions. Lord, I'm stressed, y'all, because today I was really thinking. I was really sitting here like, oh, I can't stand Mia. But I was also sitting here like, oh, Candiace, why are you putting me in this predicament for another time, another season? Okay. Ugh, I'm stressed. Okay. I will be coming to y'all with a nice little glass of wine, but I told y'all it's dry October for me because your girl's trying to get snatched. It's the countdown to my birthday, Scorpio season. Okay. Candiace, okay? Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments for those of you who are already here for the live review. Shout out to y'all. What did y'all think about the episode? I'm like, how can I make this review as unbiased as possible? Which I feel like I do a pretty good job of majority of the time. I feel like I'm pretty balanced. But it's like, oh, I can't stand Mia. So we're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. No lie, y'all. I told y'all. I watched this episode 3 times. 3 times because I was like, hold on. Let me make sure I'm understanding all of this correctly. Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about before I go talk to the good people. Woo, child. Okay, so let me go ahead and do a roll call. Let me say what's up to my faves, to my live squad, because y'all here and y'all are on ready. Anna is here. Nafisa's daughter is here. Alicia, what's up, girl? Christine Lambert, happy magnificent Monday. Yes, y'all, happy Monday, okay? Shanika, what's up? Shell, hey. She gonna be writing on posters again. Y'all, honestly, I was going back and forth trying to decide, like, do I want to do folded tissue crying Candiace for this thumbnail, or do I just want to do salad, or do I want to do post-it notes? But then I was like, I ain't really trying to go. I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in on Candiace. I don't. But y'all know what it is. I have to call out all the points. I have to break it down. And I promise y'all just gonna be unbiased. We gonna think this through. What's up, Monique? So yeah, y'all here, y'all on ready. And I'm not playing, y'all. I watched this 3 times. I watched this once last night. Then I was like, oh, hold on. Watched it once this morning. Then around 5 o'clock, I was like, you know what? Let me watch it again, because that's how bad I wanted to say Candiace was right and Mia was wrong. That's how bad I wanted to say it, but I couldn't find the evidence there. The proof wasn't in the pudding. So I can't even sit here and lie to y'all and really justify that. So y'all, about this thumbnail though, okay? Y'all know how we do before we get into the episode. About this thumbnail though, I thought it was pretty cute. I went and tried to look for a real cute little stock photo of a nice looking salad. One that I felt like could be chunked across the room. Not one that had too much dressing, just a nice little salad, because they was chunking that salad. Well, child, the whole buildup, y'all, this whole time, they made it seem as though Mia was the one chunking the salad, from like she was the initiator, because I never seen previews. Well, I will say, throughout all the previews, I was always under the impression that Mia threw the salad first and Candiace threw it back at her. Honestly, now that we see it, I'm like, shit. Kenya, she's like, wish you luck. Oh my gosh. Okay, so without further ado, I think we got enough people in the room. Y'all ready to go ahead? Erica said she watched shit twice. All right, let's go ahead and get into Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? So y'all, let me go get my phone stand so I can have my notes. Y'all know, I always tell y'all, this is why y'all here for the live reviews, because you know, you get the authentic conversation. You get me having to plug my charger into my laptop when it's shit about to die. Because this is just a conversation. We just friends, okay? I just happen to be on screen. So now let's go ahead and get into the review. Season's giving. So scene one, we see Mia and Gordon. Shout out to Kenya for correcting me last video because I kept calling this man Gil. I was mixing up my characters from all the different TV shows because y'all know I review Married at First Sight as well. So we see Mira. I just said Mira. I'm mixing them up. We see Mia and Gordon. They're at home. Her kids are crying. Mommy, where are you going? And the little baby Jeremiah, I don't want you to go because I love you. Not a tear dropping down his eye. He was just, baby, your mama gonna be back home. It's okay. But when I seen that, I was like, oh, that's cute. The kids really love their mom, and she probably has a relationship with her kids that she always imagined that she would have with her mom. So we find out that her mom is watching the kids for the first time by herself. So she's a little bit nervous about that. And it seems like the kids are nervous about it as well. I don't know if they're nervous about her mom watching them or if they're nervous about her going away for the weekend. It's only a 2-day trip. Anyway, Gordon G is having a conversation with Mia. And he's not excited to go. He got an attitude. He's acting every bit of 68 years old, like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go do this. And she's like, every time you go somewhere, you say you don't want to go. You don't want to deal with people's shit, but you end up having a good time anyway. The other thing he says when he's talking to Mia is, well, you know me when I go out. And I was like, what about you when you go out? What it sounded like it was something that he was concerned about. And Mia says, yeah, I know you. You have a good time. So I'm like, okay, this man is about to show his ass. Then she recaps Gordon on the mess that happened with her and Candiace. And she says, just so you know, the air is going to be thick whenever we're on the East Coast, because this is what happened with Candiace. I called her low budget. And then she said my mother was low budget. Now, y'all, this is what I'm going to say about the low budget comment, okay? Last review, I told y'all, like, I was here for her saying your mama was low budget. I was here for it. But I also was like, is there a little bit of hypocrisy in me, here for her talking about somebody's mother, while in the same breath, I was like, you can't really talk about Ashley's mom bod? Was it? Now, here's my reason behind that, y'all. How many times has people, when you're a kid and you have nothing else to say in response, should be like, your mama this, your mama that. And I felt like that's all Candiace meant in that moment. When she initially said it, all she meant was like, girl, your mama, not knowing nothing about Mia's mom. Now, stay with me here because we're going to get into it later on in the episode. I'll tell you where she was wrong and where she messed up. But initially, Mia definitely was more wrong talking about your shit was low budget. For Candiace to say your mama was low budget, I felt like it was all is fair in love and war. That's how I felt until we got to the house. So stay with me, y'all. So now, Mia in her confessional, as she's talking to her husband, Gordon, she says, we can move on if Candiace wants to move on, right? And she's like, if Candiace wants to stay in high school, we can stay in high school. So I'm like, okay. It's nice to see that Mia really didn't take it that seriously initially. I don't think that Mia was even the one who initially was going to press that whole storyline. Well, my mom was on drugs, so you shouldn't have said that. I feel like it was everybody around Mia who really tried to make Candiace feel worse for what she said because she didn't know Mia's backstory. So all in all, y'all, I think that this is something that got completely out of hand. And I think it's because somebody was triggered. Somebody being Candiace, okay? I think she called out everything right initially with Mia by saying she was projecting. But the more anger that I saw in Candiace and the more that she started to argue, I was like, damn, is it Mia who's triggered or is it Candiace who's triggered? Oh, that hurts my heart, okay? So Mia ends the conversation with her husband, G, by saying, if she tried it again, we gonna fight. Okay. So now, y'all, we going over to Candiace's house and they show Chris drinking again. And I'm like, editing. Y'all are doing everything to make it seem like this man is at home drinking in the middle of the day like a housewife with no job. Like, why do y'all keep doing that? So, of course, they're talking business. She's talking about wanting to get signed to a record company by the greats like Usher. Y'all know I love me some Usher. K Michelle, Monica. So she's working and doing all this work to, someday be a really big artist. She wants the freedom to be creative and, do what she wants to do on the music side. It sounds like she doesn't want to get into a bad deal. Besides all that, y'all, because y'all don't really care about that, Candiace recaps Chris on what happened at the video shoot. She recaps Chris on the fact that Mia went up to her mom, who she did not know, and was asking if Chris was getting paid. She also recapped Chris on what happened at Giselle's house and how she said that Mia's mom was low budget. Chris low-key thought the shit was funny. Okay. Another thing I wanted to call out with editing is they were sure to show us the age gap between Chris and Candiace in the beginning of the episode, because towards the end of the episode, Candiace calls out the age gap between Gordon and Mia and says that it's like a daddy-daughter thing. Now, their age gaps are two way different things, but I feel like editing was like really trying to make her look like a hypocrite by doing that. So anyway, Candiace, she says to Chris that, nobody's jealous of Mia and her big ass feet, her lengthy booty, lengthy lips, and oversized clitoris. And I was like, this is where I have to say wrong road, okay? Wrong road. Because last episode, I talked to y'all about how we were at the party. I said we, because this is how invested I am in this show. We were at the Reasonably Shady party. And she had all the smoke for Mia, but then Giselle and Robin told her that they essentially did the same thing. They had conversations with Miss Dorothy trying to figure out tea. So you turned up on Mia, and then at the end of the Reasonably Shady party, instead of taking your ass home and being upset at everybody, you got upset at only Mia. Took your ass down to Giselle's, broken path down to her closet so you can see what her house was looking like. So this is the only part where I have to disagree. Candiace can be pissed off if she wants to be pissed off for somebody calling her shit low budget, but I feel like her fault is if you was going to have all that smoke, you should have had it for Mia, Giselle, and Robin. So this is where I feel like this is out of proportion. She's definitely triggered by something else other than somebody just calling your shit low budget. I don't understand, because she seems like she's been being the middleman this entire season. She's been very level-headed. She knows how Giselle and Robin are. Like, she's like, fine, noted. Why was it that serious in this conversation? And this is where I'm disappointed, honestly, because Candiace, I really like Candiace. I really, really like Candiace's reads. But this is where you took it too far. And I feel like she was absolutely triggered in this situation. And I think it might have been the hand. It might have been this that triggered her, because it was so many times where I watched this argument. I told you I watched the episode 3 times. And I was like, it should have stopped here. It could have stopped there. This would have happened if this happened. And it's like, oh, it was so many times where it could have stopped. So let's go ahead and move on from Candiace and Chris to now we see Robin. Robin is at her townhome and Ashley comes over to the house. Of course, Ashley comes with the baby. And really, they just start having conversations about the other girls, because what else are they going to talk about? Robin ends up telling Ashley that, she thinks that Candiace feels some type of way because she's often criticized by her relationship with her mom, which may be true, but Robin, I still can't stand you. That may be true. Okay. So she says to Ashley that Mia's mom was a drug addict. While all that was true, I felt like they put me back in last season, okay? I feel like Robin took that piece of information that Mia gave her in order to weaponize it and make Candiace seem worse than what she really was. While what Candiace said was not nice, Candiace doesn't know shit about Mia's mom. So why are y'all weaponizing the information of Mia's backstory to try to make Candiace look worse than what she really is? And it just took me back to last season because, oh, I have to talk about it, y'all. I wasn't upset that Monique put hands on Candiace, okay? I was upset that Monique didn't put hands on Giselle, Robin, and Candiace, if that's how mad you were. And then, whenever the Green Eyed Bandits, the ops, found out about that information, they used the fight to weaponize how they really felt about Monique instead of taking it for what it was. In this situation, Robin, you don't give a fuck about Mia's mom. You're using this to weaponize against Candiace. So that's why I'm just like, Robin, I can't get with you. I don't think she even knew the backstory. So I'm talking to y'all pre-knowing the backstory, after knowing the backstory. Before she finds out about Mia's mom, I'm like, it's not that serious. There definitely was a point where the tables turn, okay? So we're going to get there. So next, y'all. Robin is talking about this house that y'all don't really care about. She says that they'll be in the house in probably 2 months. And then she also talks about the trip. She says that she just thinks that Wendy's an asshole. I'm like, it's so funny that Robin can see the asshole in Wendy, but she can't see the asshole in Giselle. Okay, bet. So then they get down to the text message portion. And Giselle is sitting there with her hairstylist. She's texting Wendy, responding to the invitation of the trip. And she says that her and her luggage will not be coming. Y'all know she coming. Y'all know good and well she's coming. So I'm just like, okay, sure. This is what we gonna act like. We gonna play like the Green Eyed Bandits ain't coming to get their check. Bet. So next, we go over to Wendy and her home. Wendy is with Eddie. And Wendy says that Zen Win is only packing positive energy. So she texts all the girls and said, hey, I'm only, I'm going to be on great vibes and vibrations, and I'm only packing positive energy. I would love for y'all to come. So as soon as they flip back to Robin and Ashley talking, they leave it as though Giselle was the only one who wasn't going. And I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. So then once we come back to Ashley and Robin says that she sent a text message to the group and she says, thank you for coming to our party. Y'all have fun on y'all's trip. So of course, y'all, one follows the other. Giselle ain't going on a trip. Robin ain't going on a trip. And what y'all basically are going to do is both decline to come on the trip because Robin, Juan's not coming anyway. I'm sure he's not coming. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait until they're well into the trip after day one. And then you're going to show up with Giselle and tell everybody that Juan has something to do. Okay. So now y'all, Ashley is feeling some type of way because she's going to be the only single on the trip. And she really wants her girls to show up. So it's left in the air if they're going to come or not. Y'all know they're going to come. So now, y'all, we move on to Karen. Karen and Ashley are riding together to the weekend trip. And we find out that Ray is coming the next. Ashley, in this damn family picture, she comes to the house with a picture of her family. And she's like, this is my family. I have to bring this with me because they're not going to be here. Okay. Whatever you need to get by. One thing I will say, though, y'all know I always tell y'all I have a love-hate relationship with Ashley. I like Ashley, but I don't like Ashley when it comes to Michael. So one thing I will say is, Ashley, I'm happy that eating your placenta is working for you in this postpartum journey. And whatever it takes, you taking a picture of your husband and your kids to get you through this trip, good for you, because you were the one who actually showed up when Robin and Giselle should have brought their single asses on the trip. So the other thing, they show a flashback of Karen and Ray talking about the trip. Ray took me out with his shady ass and he says, who's Giselle gonna bring, the hairdresser? But he was like dead serious. It was funny to me. So Karen and Ashley make their way to the trip and they, of course, talk about the wedding. Here we find out that Karen is actually inviting all of the women to the wedding, including Giselle. So next, y'all, we get to the lake house. This is where it all goes down, okay? So G and Mia pull up. They're the first ones there besides Wendy and Eddie. And they hop out the car. Already on bullshit. G hops out the car joking. He says, valet, holding his key up. And Mia says, let's just go in the house because I'm not packing shit. I'm not taking shit inside. I'm like, girl, have your man take it inside. Okay, so she was already getting on my nerves. Then they get to the house. G, Eddie, Wendy, and Mia are taking shots. It's turn up mode. And that's whenever Wendy tells everybody that the theme of this trip is going to be GVO, good vibes only. That was the first mistake on this trip. Anytime somebody labels something as good vibes, this is good vibes only, positive energy only. What do you think that attracts? Something always happens on these TV shows whenever they claim they want good vibes only. The first show that comes to mind to me is Issa Rae's Sweet Life, when they went to Mexico and said that it was good vibes only, and then all the bullshit happened. So I think that was the first mistake. So Mia ends up having a conversation with Wendy in front of the two husbands. And she says, I was nervous about this weekend because I'm leaving my mom with the kids for the first time. Wendy says, why for the first time? And that's whenever Mia ends up telling her backstory. She says that she was taken from her mom, that she grew up in foster care. And I can tell that that's a sensitive subject for her because she still says that she was taken from her mom, even though her mom wasn't fit to care for her. And that's no shade. That's just the reality of it. So I can tell that still bothers her, even down to us last episode talking about how she says, mommy. Yes, I think she very much wants that close relationship. So I know that things that Candiace is saying is hurting her, but what I'm not going to do is act like because Candiace didn't know about her story that Candiace was wrong for saying it initially. Towards the end, yes, but initially, I'm not about to be like, oh, you don't know that you shouldn't have done that. Come on, really? All right. So next, y'all, Candiace arrives to the house. Candiace is joking already in her confessional, saying that Mia is going to put a crack in the foundation of the house. I thought the shit was funny, but I also was trying to figure out the source of all this energy. I still cannot figure out the source of all this energy. Candiace, I really felt like last season you were going to therapy. You had the sticky notes on the wall. You were learning your triggers, and you still seem to be triggered. I am disappointed. That's what I'm going to say. I'm thoroughly disappointed. So when she was in this confessional talking about the cracks in the foundation, she said it real hard. So I was like, damn, something is about to go down, because y'all know they usually film the confessional after everything happens. So for you to have that energy in the confessional, y'all, things are not going to get better from here. So Gordon, he's downstairs fooling with the rest of the couples. And he's talking about how he doesn't even care about going to the strip clubs anymore. Then Candiace, again, well, why would you go to the strip club? Because you brought the strip club into your home permanently. And I was like, but then I was like, where is this energy coming from? Where is it coming from? Now, the other thing that Gordon ends up talking to everybody about is the fact that he likes white women. Mia told everybody that he likes white girls. I guess they go to the club and they choose which one they want to take home. And I was kind of disgusted. But y'all, money talks. I just know that there are people out here who probably would have a threesome with Mia and Gil for a check. But I was just looking at the two of them like, I guess, okay. Maybe from the strip club where they be wearing the ball gowns at, maybe. So now, after Gil is telling everybody that he likes white women, he's sticking his tongue all out his mouth. He's doing the stroke hand sign in front of everybody, and everybody is thoroughly disgusted. I was even more disgusted because you might have not caught it, but since I watched the episode 3 times, I caught it. Everybody's disgusted. Mia is laughing, and she says, don't worry, I can take it. I'm a big bitch. That was in reference to her husband's penis. I can't deal with the both of y'all. So now y'all, Escala arrives. And when Escala arrives, this is another time where I feel like Candiace was wrong road. Escala arrives. And as they're walking into the house, you can hear Candiace say, get him some water because they may not be with this. And when she says they may not be with this, she's talking about Escala and Dre. When in reality, Candiace isn't with how drunk Gordon is. And majority of the people in the house aren't really with how drunk he is. You hear people over and over again saying, get him some water, get him some food. And Mia's like, he's good. Y'all young kids need to take notes. Now, Their dynamic is absolutely giving sugar daddy, sugar baby. The person with the money can do whatever the hell they want to do, is basically what Mia was telling us. So that's y'all's relationship, okay? Now, they take more shots once Escala comes. It was so funny to me because Gordon says to Mia, "Who the fuck is that?" And she says, "That's Escala." Then he walks up to her and says, "I've heard so much about you." This man is hilarious. This man is made for TV. They take more shots. And then G hops on the phone and he's talking to a car dealer. Candiace and Escala have already gone upstairs to talk shit about Mia and Gordon. Initially, Candiace tries to make it seem like she has a concern for Gordon being so drunk, when all actuality, she's still feeling some type of way about Mia calling her event low budget. Now, those of y'all in the comments, please help me out. Tell me if there was another moment where Mia and Candiace got into it. I feel like it was literally only the low budget comment. I can't remember any other moment. So that's another reason why I'm like, what is going on? So this is a good question from When Take Talk. When Take Talk says, okay, Necey, what if she would have said that and Mia's mom was deceased? Would I think it was okay then, even if she didn't know? Okay, listen. What I feel like, no, it's not okay. But I think that the other women are weaponizing that to make it seem worse than what it is. Because now that her mom's alive, y'all. Okay, for her to say your mama is low budget, she don't know her mama from anybody on the street. So initially, no, I don't think it's that big of a deal. People talk shit when they get into arguments. Now, for her to know that her mom was on drugs and continue to say that, that's where you can hold her accountable. I think that they were doing way too much in the beginning. And y'all are gonna hold on. We get into the bedroom scene because you can immediately tell that she was already trying to backtrack on calling her mama low budget whenever she went into the bedroom. So, okay, anyway, y'all. Candiace and Escala are already having conversation about Mia and Gordon. Candiace initially tries to make it seem like it's about Gordon being drunk, but like I said, y'all, she's still mad about the low budget comment. G is downstairs on some drunk shit, okay? People who do things for theatrics really be tripping me the fuck out. They really do. So he hops on the phone. He hands the phone to Mia on speaker and basically wants everybody in the room to know that he's getting her a G-Wagon. The room was dead silent because everybody was kind of like, what you want me to say about that? Leave it to Wendy to hype it up. Custom G-Wagon, me next. And I was like, Wendy, why are you entertaining this? Then Mia is talking to her husband, and this is where Gordon says, I don't get too many times to tell you to shut the F up. And Mia just says, okay. Then she says, I'm going to go upstairs and find your room because I owe you some really good sex tonight. And she says that in front of all the men. And it definitely was giving sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship. It's weird to see. Okay. Not here for it. So now, like I said, the other women are upstairs. Wendy is telling Candiace and Escala that G had told her to shut the F up. So Mia walks in. They say, we're actually talking about you. And this is where Wendy tries to kind of probe Mia to tell Candiace why it hurt her feelings that she called her mama low budget. So Wendy says, well, I didn't tell her everything, but I think that y'all should just have a conversation. So Mia, she uses the excuse that she's a CEO of a company, and that's the reason why she was at the music video shoot, calling it low budget and trying to find out who was in charge. That's bullshit, y'all. Mia did it because she wanted to be messy. But this is what I will say. Mia was being just as messy as Giselle and Robin. So what I would like to see is all of the energy being spread across equally. You want to start and learn how to finish? I wish that she did that with Giselle and Robin as well. My thing is like, if you're just going to say it with your chest and stand by it. So while Mia was wrong, she was being messy. This whole thing was just blown out of proportion, and it is impossible to defend Candiace's actions. The only thing that I could say is that she didn't know beforehand, and it wasn't that serious to me until it got serious. So now, a scholar interrupts, y'all. And I usually like a scholar, but this is where she interrupted. A scholar, I felt like I was getting a little bit of trying to get in where you fit in this episode. Starting with whenever Wendy walked into the room, and Wendy said, "Who are y'all talking about?" And a scholar says, "We talking about Captain Save-A-Ho." Where did this energy come from? I'm like, was it something that we missed at the reasonably shady party that was escalated that they didn't show? Because we just saw a scholar saying keep it cute. Now you comfortable calling her Save-A-Ho to Candiace? I don't know, y'all. So anyway, a scholar's hollering, talking with her chest like this, but high pitch, because I told you I can't stand high pitched voices. And then they go back. They're still arguing. And I feel like Mia lightweight was trying to diffuse the situation by saying, well, it was just a CEO. Well, it was just constructive criticism. And I don't feel like she said anything personal about Candiace. Then Candiace says, "You were found on the curb by a pimp." This is where I was just like, this ain't looking good because you're doing a lot. This ain't looking good. So Wendy checks on Mia and she says, "Are you okay?" And Candiace says to Wendy, "Why are you checking on her?" And Wendy says, "Because I know what it's like to have two people against me." Really, she's checking on her because they're having a conversation about Mia's mom being low budget. This time around is the time that I told y'all Candiace was trying to backtrack on the way she felt. This time, Mia says, "Well, you called my mom low budget." And instead of Candiace saying it again, like, "Yeah, your mama low budget," Candiace says, "Well, that's what you say." Because now at this point in time, Candiace can put context clues together and find out that it's actually probably something wrong with Mia's mom. And now she's like, I probably shouldn't have said it. So she didn't want to come as hard, but still came hard. So this to me is the point of no return. Everything before that shit, whatever. So anyway, she talks about her big ass feet. She said that God made her basic. And still, I don't think Mia said anything personal about her in this argument. Mia couldn't take the heat. She hops on FaceTime. And my note right here says, this is where it should have ended. She hops on FaceTime. Mia gets on the phone. And she's walking out the room while the other women are in the hallway. And she says something about my rich, successful friends, not these broke bitches. And when she says, not these broke bitches, Candiace says, your mama's a broke bitch. This is where she already knew, damn, it's something wrong with Mia's mom. But I'm going to pull out the largest thing of ammunition that I have in my backpack, and I'm just going to go shooting guns ablazing, okay? So next, y'all, I'm going to save the amount of turn up for whenever Candiace is bringing out the tissues crying, okay? Because as of now, I'm telling y'all where she's wrong. But I don't think Candiace is going to piss me off until she plays victim. Because if I see her with the sticky notes and the tissue again, okay. So next, y'all, Karen and Ashley arrive. And this is where they do the distribution of the rooms. I hate when they do this on shows. It is so dumb to me. The storyline they do every single season. Karen and Escala get to pick their rooms first, and that's only because they were the cottage crew on Candiace's trip. This was low-key funny. Next, Wendy allows Ashley to go next because Ashley is the only single person on the trip without her family. And then Mia, and then Candiace last. Candiace is feeling some type of way. And Wendy says, well, Candiace, weren't you the one that said you wanted Mia to feel welcome? And low key, she did, because she put Mia in the main house on her trip. So now because y'all aren't good, you want her to be, at the bottom of the totem pole. So now everybody kind of goes off to their rooms. The women go back down to the kitchen. And then Ashley goes up to Mia and she says, what happened? Like, what's wrong? And this is another time where I felt like the situation could have been diffused. I don't think that Mia was where Candiace was at. Mia says to Ashley, she's mean. She's mean. And I think she was saying, like, she's mean is so childish. I think she low-key wanted the shit to be squashed. And that's where Candiace says, I'm in the room. I'm in the room. You might as well start talking to me. Blah, 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 blah. And she says, well, you called me a broke bitch. Candiace comes to Mia and says, you called me a broke bitch. Mia denies it. Okay, strike one for me. Well, another strike for Mia. You called her a broke bitch. Stay with your chest, okay? It was so much shared responsibility throughout this entire thing. So she calls her a broke bitch. She denies it. Candiace says, okay, well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that you need to go to therapy. When she said that, I was like, no, Candiace, because this is where you're going to be pressing charges again. No, you already know the story on her mother at this point. And now you're going to tell everybody she need to go to therapy. Oh, she crossed the line. Okay. So if Mia would have put hands on her in this situation, now that I'm thinking about it, now that I've seen the 3 episodes, if Mia would have put hands on her right here, she probably wouldn't have been as wrong. But this is where Candiace continues to dig a bigger hole. Okay. So Mia puts her hand, and this is where they're telling her, your classes, all you talk about is money. And you hear a scholar in the background, rah, 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 rah. A scholar, hush. Okay, please stop talking before I end up having to dislike you after I already like you this season. So Mia's like, of course, black girl magic, money, this, that, black women. She puts her hand in Candiace's face. This is where she was triggered. Candiace says, don't do the hand. Don't do the hand. You just got on here and barely made it. Okay, so now she barely made it on the show. So on one side of things, y'all are calling Mia classes. On the other side of things, you're trying to make Mia feel less than because of her history of being a stripper. I can't. Okay. So now, not only does she end it there, she says, where is your pimp? So Mia's walking around. She's trying to joke it off. Thank you so much for the super chat, Scotty. But she's trying to joke it off, okay? And she's just like, oh, pimp, the hoe is here. And this is another time where I felt like it could have ended. But for whatever reason, Candiace was just triggered beyond the point of return. It could have ended. And I'm like, come on. So not only that, Mia turns around, and that's whenever Gordon is there too. So not only does she do this right in front of Mia, she does it in front of her husband as well. I'm like, oh, I can't. So she says she's hungry. The hoe is hungry. Takes the lettuce, throws the lettuce towards Mia. This is the comment right here from ARW. Candiace doesn't want to end it. And this is where I'm thoroughly disappointed. The thing could have ended so long ago. I'm disappointed because you wouldn't let it end, for one. More so disappointed because you didn't have that energy for the Green-Eyed Bandits, and they were doing the same thing. You went to go see her closet after the party, but then you turned up on Mia like this. I'm not understanding what it was in that situation, because I feel like even then, even at the Reasonably Shady party, she didn't turn up on Mia like that. So I'm just like, come on. I don't understand. Too much. So Candiace throws the salad first. She throws about 3 pieces of salad. It doesn't matter because she threw the salad first. So if somebody would have ran up on her and threw hands, I couldn't defend Candiace in this situation. I couldn't. I can't stand Mia. I think that she was doing too much. Kimante, come on, Fave. Kimante says, I think Candiace was partially infuriated because she was actually kind to Mia and didn't do anything for her, only for her to suddenly start the bullshit. It's like, I literally did nothing to you. I definitely agree. But in my opinion, for her to be somebody who you don't really know like that, why were you so triggered? It, I just don't understand. I can't even wrap logic around that because you know Robin and Giselle, so you should be even more pissed off that they would do that as well. So I'm not understanding at all. Even if something else happened before this, that would make more sense because it would have been not only strike one, but strike two. But it seems to me like this is Mia's very first strike. So the low budget comment, like, that wasn't that deep either. Shut the fuck up, Mia. Your mama's low budget. And that could have been the end of it. But no, you go from saying her mama's low budget to calling her a hoe, calling him a pimp, doing this, that, and the third. And I was just like, ugh, I don't know. And Kimante, you know I'm a Scorpio too. I hate when I give people grace and they try to play me. But what I like even more is loyalty. I don't keep people around me where I feel like there's gray areas. And I feel like Candiace allows people around her and she engages with people who have gray areas with her. And that's Giselle and Robin. So I'm like, there's no logic behind why you turned up the way you turned up. And it's hard to even defend that. So Mia, she takes just about the whole bowl of salad with her big ass hands. And she throws the salad at Candiace. And that's when they start hollering and arguing. And that's the end of the episode, y'all. So, y'all want me to sum it up? Was Candiace wrong? Bullet point. Let me go ahead and spark note this. Initially, was Candiace wrong for saying your mama is low budget? Not in my opinion. It was funny as hell. She didn't know her mama. She didn't know her mama's backstory. When most people say your mama, they don't know shit about the mama. They just be trying to hurt your feelings, and that's exactly what she be doing. Okay. Next, was Candiace wrong once they got to the house? Absolutely. She kept shit going for no reason. Didn't keep that same energy with two other people who were doing the exact same thing as Mia. Whereas on the other side of things, I did see Mia trying to diffuse the situation a few times. A few times. I think she just didn't get the apology she wanted. And like y'all said, I think it had to be the liquor. Mia did do too much too soon as a new person on the show. But I don't think that what Mia did deserved that type of energy. It was weird. That was just a weird response. So she's triggered. And the therapy that she went through last season didn't really work. I hate to say it. I cannot stand Mia. Wrong road. Wrong road. Wrong road. I can't stand Mia, but Candiace, you have given me nothing to work with. It's just too much. And I feel like if you're going to hold one person accountable for the bullshit, you got to hold everybody accountable for it. So once we get to the root of this, what's the real issue? Nobody's really going to have an answer, y'all. So I really would love for y'all to go off on the comments. I really was like, ugh, I don't even want to do this review because I knew that we was going to be back to where we was last season. We was going to be back to having a house divided. The Real Housewives of Potomac house was going to be divided. So, y'all, that's all I have for Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all know usually on Mondays I review Salt Lake City as well, but y'all ain't really here for Salt Lake City like that. So I'm going to skip Salt Lake City this week. Y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? Be sure to like the video up right now. I'm going to wait and let y'all like the video up before y'all leave the room. Go ahead. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, okay? Especially if you've been here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I guess we'll see what happens next week, y'all. I'm not gonna go all the way out there just yet, okay? If Candiace flips this and makes herself a victim, then I'll be like, okay, bitch, hold on. But as of now, let's just sit back and observe, okay? Because I can't stand Mia, and I feel like she's gonna do something. She's gonna do something to where I'm like, I absolutely disagree. Okay. Now, one thing that I saw in the preview, I have to talk to y'all about that. Mia's crying, and she says, if my mom relapses, that's her fault. I don't think that's why. I think if your mom relapses, it's because you exposed her to reality TV. Okay. Candiace, who is nobody, her comment shouldn't have shit to do with your mom and her sobriety, okay? So I think people are just putting way too much stock into words, okay? So y'all, that's all I got for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. All right, bye y'all.